Hey everybody, it's Aldo Gandhi, and I just want to let you know really quickly that our swag shop is reopened. DeepDishTees.com is where you go, and that's tees with T-E-E-S. Clever name, guys. They're the new home of our merchandise. You can get t-shirts, you can get caps, you can get coffee mugs, you can get hoodies, you can get all sorts of good stuff, and you'll help out the bar room with the purchase. So head over to DeepDishTees.com.
Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
Here you go, Barflies. Welcome to another episode of the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's live. It's done by Barflies and all the other Bears fans out there. Good morning, everybody. Ryan Badgley back with you on the Barfly Tailgate Show, joined by my man, Aaron Curran, AC in the place to be. What is up, Aaron Curran? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, brother, man? I'm doing well. Give you a little Kentucky football update. First of all, I know you're a big Syracuse fan. Taj Harris, I believe it is, just committed last night, so he'll be joining the fray next year. But man, we had a letdown last night. At one point, this team was 6-0. I mean, we were going into Georgia. We had a feeling we were going to lose that one, but our thoughts were high. You know, we were like, man, if we can just, if we finish 11-1 and our only losses to the best team in the country, who knows what might happen? And then since then, it's just started falling apart, man. We lost to Mississippi State, got embarrassed actually. And then we had a bye week. No, we had a bye week before Mississippi State. And then last night we played Tennessee, and man, Tennessee's offense is insane. I mean, they scored. We held the ball for almost 50 minutes of the game and lost 45-42.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
I put up our stats on a Facebook post. I don't care if y'all want to hear about it or not. I'm going to talk about it because it bugged the shit out of me. See if I can find my status here. Because as soon as I saw so we absolutely dominated the time of possession, had 42 points. We tied the turnover battle. Both teams had one turnover. We punted 0 times, and we lost the game. Oh, my God. Like, those stats just don't add up. You know what I'm saying? And so that was a tough loss. But we got, I think, Vandy, New Mexico State, and we finished off the season against Louisville. So hopefully we can get a nice little three-game win streak in a decent bowl.
Yeah, man, I hate to say, I go to, Q season ticket holder, just like you are, Kentucky. I was relieved to not have to deal with any Syracuse games yesterday, even though they've won 2 in a row. It was great to see them was it last week? Yeah, last week in the Dome. Really put a full game together. And I'm going to say this, Sean Tucker not only should be the possible ACC player of the year, But if he's not in the Heisman talk, he 150% should be, because I am going to guarantee that he breaks a, I don't know, over 40-year-old rushing record at SU this season.
Wow.
I think he will break the season leading rushing record probably within the next 2 games. So when he goes into that last game, he's just going to be padding that total.
Right.
This guy is, Garrett Strader, the quarterback there, throws the ball well at times. At other times, you're like, what in the hell? But Sean Tucker really is that entire Syracuse offense. And, they've got 3 games left here as well. I couldn't tell you who they are against, because, I'm focused on Bears and Bulls. So
Yeah.
you brought up the stats of the Kentucky game last night, and talking about how Kentucky didn't punt. And that's I wanted to piggyback off of that and talk about the San Francisco 49ers last week.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they punted, and if they did, maybe it was late in the game, if I remember correctly. I
I,
don't think
I
they punted.
I don't think they did either. Man, yeah, that game, it was difficult. It was like a roller coaster ride. I felt great that we were able to see Justin Fields kind of. There's no argument. That was the best game he's had of his young career. And it just so happened to be without our head coach on the sideline. But I think that was a big part of it. And I can't remember if they had punted or not with as far as the 49ers. I posted a tweet right after the game that said, Justin Fields did everything he could to win this ball game. Unfortunately, so did Jimmy G. And as Bears fans, we're not used to seeing our defense be the reason we lost. We're used to defense holding their own, and the offense not doing too well. I'm not sure if you're having technical difficulties or something, or.
No, I'm here, man. I was just going to pull up the stats from last week. Just because, the thing that didn't sit well with me last week, defensively, we talk about Eddie Jackson. It seems like week over
Mhm.
week, and just how he's not the same player that he was, after 2018. I mean, 19 wasn't awful, but it
Right.
certainly wasn't the 18. It's really 17 and 18 season is really the way to look at it, because
Mhm.
that final year with Fox, he had a great year as well. The fact that, he left the field, to me, I thought on the back end we would be much better having DHC take that spot, but they put Tease Tabor there and left DHC in as more of like that fifth cornerback when the Niners would spread it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not that Tabor played awful, but, he had the chance for a pick early on, went through his hands. I mean, the guy hasn't seen the field, I don't think, all season. If he has, it's
I,
very
I
minimal.
don't think he's played since Detroit drafted him.
It could be. But then, I mean, the corner play, too. Jalen Johnson was all right, but Kendall Vildor, this is a guy who I was very high on.
Mhm.
I saw him at the Senior Bowl. He performed very well there. Last season, when he came in late, he got the chance to start. He made some good plays throughout the preseason. You saw the beat reporters talking about him as well. And I thought, man, I'm not really concerned going into this season without, somebody of a more established, veteran that would make that much of a difference. And
Mhm.
I've been very disappointed. I mean, I feel like I was beating the drum for Vildor to be the other starter, and it hasn't been what I thought it would be on that back end. Obviously,
Right.
AC, we talk about Khalil Mack too, and there's times, in a season where he's not making the impact play, getting the sack, but he's doing other things to make an impact, helping in the run game. You know,
at the very least, he gets more attention from they have to scheme toward him. So at the very least, you're going to have a mismatch somewhere else on the defense. And yeah, we did not have that last week, obviously.
Yeah, and no pressure on Jimmy G.
No sacks.
You know, he was able to run pretty easily. And, you know, to me, I mean, you know, obviously you're playing with you're not top competitors, but that's an excuse. You still have to find ways to go out and win. Yeah. And these guys, I mean, Justin Fields, you know, people are saying he had his best day as a pro. He definitely looked a million times more comfortable this past week than he's looked all season. But that was a game that I would have hoped you would have seen him take it over, not only with his legs, but with his arm as well. And you just didn't see it from him. I don't, you know, could play calling affect that? Yes, it could. Obviously, no Matt Nagy there. I know a lot was made of that, you know, throughout social media and whatnot. Look, guys, Matt Nagy, and I'm one of the guys who, you know, the last time I was on the show, I tried to change my tune and support the guy, and it didn't work. So Matt Nagy needs to fucking go. That's the bottom line. This guy is not a head coach. He's not an offensive coordinator. He doesn't develop a quarterback in any way, shape, or form. And you can see, you saw last week with him not there, how much more relaxed, how much freer Justin Fields was. Yeah. Well, guys in the front office, from George McCaskey to Ted Phillips to Ryan Pace and right to everybody else, the people on the board of the Chicago Bears, get your fucking heads out of your asses. Make a decision now, because what's going to happen is you're going to go on another 6-game losing streak, right?
Well, speaking on that, man, I was listening to some of Buffon 55 before I got on here to try and help with my show prep. Shout out John Buffon, but he was talking about, you know, looking at the schedule. We've lost a couple in a row, right? And then we've got Pittsburgh now. If we lose this one, then we got a bye week. Then we got Baltimore. We all know we're losing that one. And then we play, I think, the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
If we somehow find a way to piss down our leg that week and lose that one, then we've got Arizona and Green Bay after that. So it could be like an 8-game losing streak. And
it's I know I'm a negative guy. Oh, lost my headphone. Hang on. I know I'm a negative Nagy guy, but there's a reason for it. This guy is in over his head. Chris Watts, I know, bro. Chris Watts just shared right here. They won't change a coach till after the season. You know what, guys? It hasn't worked up till this point. Wait until the end of the season to fire a coach. Stop it. It needs to change now. It's 2021. Yeah. The ways of 1921 don't fucking work anymore.
Well, I think a report came out and said they were already looking into some of the coaching candidates for next season. So I know Aldo had asked us if we were going to do a bye week show. If they let him go during the bye week, I feel like we should come on and if they haven't hired someone, it'll be that Sunday, I'm assuming. If they haven't hired someone, maybe we can talk about some of the coaching candidates that we like, or, I mean, I'm sure they'll have an interim head coach, which Chris Tabor surprised the hell out of me. I thought they should have went with Mike Pettin in that game, but Chris Tabor held it together. The fourth down, there was no waiting. There was no taking forever to get the play call in and calling a timeout like we've seen over and over with Matt Nagy. I feel like he did an admirable job. He was fired up when he needed to be. And
even the broadcast guys pointed it out, you know, like, you know, right before halftime. You know, is Chris Tabor going to use a timeout here? Greg Olson was, you know, really, and I got to be honest, I'm loving Greg Olson in the broadcast.
I think he's great in broadcast. Yeah.
Oh my God, he is fantastic. You know, I've never done a TV broadcast, Well, I mean, I guess if you're watching us on YouTube TV right now, okay, I guess maybe we're on TV. But as far, I mean, I broadcasted football games for 18 years of my life on the radio, and it's you can't see the people and the viewers and how many viewers you're getting when you're on the radio, when you're live on the radio. Well, definitely at our station you couldn't, because we were very small. We didn't even have a computer to broadcast. We were still using old technology. So that's how far back I go. But Greg Olson, to me, I mean, he's a guy that I could see him taking over, bumping Troy Aikman out. I'm ready for Troy Aikman to be gone. I mean, I don't like Joe Buck either, but
I
yeah,
can't
I
stand
could see
Joe
a
Buck.
Greg Olson Joe Buck pairing, and I might be okay with that because of Greg Olson. But anyway, back to Chris Tabor smartly didn't take a time out there, and it worked out that the Niners, the one time I think they really didn't work able to do much during the game, and it worked in Tabor's favor. At the end of the game there, the interception Fields threw, you
That was
saw that
another one
from
off
Mitch.
Mooney's hands, man.
But you saw those types of throws from Mitch late in the game where they're trying to hit a big play, and it's just, if there's more than one defender there, you got to tell the guy, don't throw the ball. Don't throw it. You've got a safety over the top. Your corner was in decent coverage. Yeah, he put a little too much on it and it went off his hands, but that's what's going to happen when you're trying this offense. There's guys on this offense that can make big plays. Unfortunately, the coaching staff doesn't know how to scheme them open for those big plays. The Justin Fields touchdown run, one of the finest runs we've seen since Mitch Trubisky against the New England Patriots a few years ago.
That'll be one of those highlights that lives forever, I think.
Absolutely. And you saw, I don't know if you saw, but Mike Vick came out and said this week that he's been talking to Justin Fields and telling him that he needs to run a little bit more. And I'm not opposed to that. I mean, you're a threat with your legs. You have a phenomenal ability there. Take advantage of that.
Right.
And the coaching staff should be pushing for that.
Right. Well, we saw that with Mitch. We all knew Mitch was a better runner than a thrower, and they kind of told him to stay in the pocket. I don't know if that was from injuries, because we know that Harrison Smith hurt his shoulder early in his career. I'm not sure what caused them to tell Mitch to kind of just stay back there and be a pocket passer, even though we all knew he was a much better on the move. But that it's another thing that goes back to Nagy not being on the sideline. When they asked Justin Fields about Nagy not being on the sideline, he basically said that him and Nagy don't really talk a whole lot. It's like he has that relationship with DeFilippo, which is great. I think Flip is one of the better quarterback coaches in the league. He tried his hand at offensive coordinator. It didn't work out so great. But as far as quarterback coaches, I feel like he's one of the better ones. And but yeah, that kind of shocked me a little bit when Justin Fields was kind of like, yeah, I mean, we can only go off who's here, and I don't really talk to him a lot. It seemed like it didn't bother him that Nagy wasn't there. So
yeah,
I mean, what are they waiting for? You know what I'm saying?
I don't get it either. I mean, how can they? I mean, after last season, man, we all sat here like, oh yeah, this. I mean, they had a 6-game losing streak. They snuck into the playoffs. They lay a fucking egg in the playoff game, and we're like, oh yeah, this guy's gone. And then I hate to run this back for you guys, but I'll get to my point. They come out, have that fucking press conference, collaboration this, collaboration that, my balls collaborate with this. Like, it was just fucking asinine. And they thought we were supposed to believe that this season was going to be something great because they drafted Justin Fields, because they drafted Tevin Jenkins. Well, now you're seeing reports that Tevin Jenkins is going to be a better guard. What do you mean? He was supposed to be the left tackle of the future. Everybody on every network was telling it. Oh, he's the left tackle of the future. Oh, my God. Well, now they're telling us he's a guard? Well, which is it? What is it? Which is it? You know what I mean?
I think Borum's the left tackle of the future. I think they've already seen that.
Too. I mean, I think it's good that he's at right tackle now because it's obviously a position of need. But as the season starts to unfold and progress, and if we're not, winning games, I would start to say, okay, you know what? We need to start to look towards the future here. Get rid of Nagy. I don't care if you put Tabor in charge, Pettin in charge, Laser in charge, whoever's in charge of coaching the team. Start whoever it is, you've got a chance now, right? No, there's no guarantees here. They're not guarantee you that you're going to be a head coach, but you've got an opportunity to show this front office, who obviously is football stupid, the chance that, hey, maybe I could make something of this. So here's what I want to see. Whether or not it's going to work, I don't know. I mean,
going back years ago, speaking of the Steelers, that's how Bruce Arians got his start. I think it was either Bill Cowher was sick, or I don't remember if they ended up cutting him loose mid-season or something. But Bruce Arians came in, ran that offense well, and then that offseason, we had him in, and they said no thank you for whatever fucking reason. He goes to Arizona, and all he does is take them to the Super Bowl, and now he's in Tampa doing the same thing.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we had Trestman, Fox, and Nagy, three bad head coaches. And honestly, the best of those three probably was John Fox. And
as much as I fucking hated him, he really was. I mean, how can we sit here? The guy had a losing record every year, and he was the better of the three.
Yeah.
I Jesus Christ, I'd give him my yearly salary to have John Fox back for a season, for fuck's sake. And we were the network pushing fucking Fire
Fox. Yeah.
All right, I got to address this one because I see Tigger in the chat here. What about OBJ going to the Bears? Guys, for what? To run 6-yard hitches, an 8-yard curl, 3rd and 15 wide receiver screen where the other receivers don't block and he's hit for a loss. What's the point in spending the money on a guy like OBJ when he's going to end up like the other receivers that are currently already on our roster?
Well,
really,
there's
useful at this point.
There's a couple of things with that. Adam Schefter tweeted out that you'd be on the hook for a little over $7 million, which I don't even know if we have that in cap space. First of all. Right. Second of all, we've got Allen Robinson here, who is not happy, is not getting the ball. You think OBJ will not be the same? I mean, his dad was putting out clips of him getting missed by Baker Mayfield. I mean, regardless of what the play call was or the projections were, his dad just saw that he wasn't getting the ball and he wasn't happy about it. I didn't look at the video. I just saw the comments about it, but I was like, man, and I mean, I guess you can call me ignorant on that. But there was something else I was going to say. Also he came out himself, OBJ, I think it came out today, that he wants to go to a contender. If he doesn't end up on a contender, they're not sure what's going to happen. So basically, if the Jets were to decide to pick him up in the waiver wire because they have such a shot, I don't see him showing up for them. And we're what, 3-5? I'm about to be 3-6 probably. I don't see him doing that here either. So does he have better talent than we have on the field? Absolutely.
Sure.
Marquise Goodwin is not the guy. And Damiere Byrd, I don't even know why he's on the field anymore. I'd rather bring up Rodney Adams, honestly, from the practice squad.
Rodney Adams,
than to have his ass.
Newsome a shot.
I mean,
so he does. Guys, Go ahead.
He does have the talent. He's more talented than some of the wide receivers we have on this roster, but I don't think he'd be happy, and I don't think he'd even show up for us. He'd look at our record and he'd be like, "Nah, I don't think so."
Nope. Yeah, I mean, because what other than Justin Fields, if you're an outside player looking at this team during last week before the trade deadline, right? So the Bears are 3-4. Whoa, we're missing this, we're missing. Well, first of all, you're missing 5 offensive linemen, so you're not going to be able to go out and trade for a whole new offensive line.
Mhm.
So that's your first problem. So if you're a player looking at this team from the outside in, you know going into free agency next year that they don't have a first round pick. Did they give away a second rounder as well? I don't think they have a second round pick again next year
I
either.
think we've got a
So,
second, a fourth,
oh,
and
okay.
a fifth or something. 2 fifths, something
Okay.
like that.
I couldn't fully remember exactly what it was, but what's attractive about coming here other than Justin Fields?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the defense is aging. Clearly, you can see Eddie Jackson's hurt, Khalil Mack's hurt, Danny Trevathan was hurt earlier on in the season. Eddie
Keem Hicks
Goldman,
is
I
a
think, is
fucking
finally
warrior,
back to
otherwise he'd be
100%.
hurt.
Yeah, I mean, what's attractive about it? To me, if I were the Bears at this point, I would have tried to trade Khalil Mack. So that money would have come off the books. I know you wouldn't have gotten any market for Robert Quinn. I probably would have tried to trade Eddie Jackson as well. Even though I don't think the market for him would have been, very good or whatever. But I mean, to me, these guys, that's the thing. They think they're close and they're so far away that as fans, we're sitting here, it's like, why are we fans of this organization? Why do we stick around for this bullshit when
Loyalty.
they don't? It's not the players. I know the players care, but nobody else does. Like nobody. I mean, like you're 3-5, and let's say they miraculously go out and beat the Steelers. I really don't think it would be a miracle for them to beat the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers are anywhere near the team they were when they started the season. 11-0 or something like that.
Yeah,
last year, 10-0.
season. Yeah.
Last season, like they're not that team. So is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. But I mean, to think that you're this close, you're not. You're so fucking far away that everybody, I mean, the ridicule that Matt Nagy's gotten from national media, from ESPN, NFL Network, Busio Dinko Takako in some other freaking country, whatever. I mean, everybody thinks this guy's a dipshit, and they're right. That's that's the part that I don't understand is why is it that the people in charge, George McCaskey, super nice guy, he really is, but he has no football knowledge whatsoever. None. Let Virginia make the decisions. Because last year, you hear how pissed off she is at the 6-game losing streak. Let her pull the fucking cord on Nagy then. You're fired. Bye-bye. Pull it, Virginia. I'm begging you.
Yeah. She's only got a couple of years left, man. You got to believe that she's had enough. I mean, somebody said something about the field being bad, and that's why he missed the field goal.
Yes. Yeah, so right here is King Pookie. I did see that. I did see that he mentioned that the field conditions last week were terrible.
I think Hogan Johns mentioned that too, how bad the field looked. It was like they were like, okay, you guys want to move to Arlington Heights? We're not going to take care of your current field or something. Like it's almost like a tug of war match with the city of Chicago, and that is another reason why the Chicago Bears need to just go ahead and make that move and start building that stadium, put some AstroTurf in, have a retractable dome so they can start getting NCAA tournaments in there. You can get Big Ten championships in there because, Chicago, that's Big Ten country. I mean, there's so much money that can be made if they own their own stadium. And I know a lot of people hate, Bears play in Chicago. That's the thing. But, it's just, 33% of the NFL actually play in the city that they represent, Dallas Cowboys don't play in Dallas. The San Francisco 49ers don't play in San Francisco. Hell, the New York Giants and Jets play in Jersey. That's a completely different state. So
right, exactly, yeah. So here's a question from King Pookie too. What do the Bears get if A-Rob walks? I think I had saw
something. I don't remember where I was reading it at. Depends on what type of contract he gets. That's what goes into the compensatory pick formula. But I think we can get up to a 3rd round pick for him leaving, which I believe is the round that we're missing next season. We're missing the first. No, we won't get a first, but if we can get a compensatory pick for that third round pick, that'd be nice. It just really depends on what moves we make and what he makes in free agency. I think it's like some sort of calculation with the difference in money.
You're right.
Or something.
I must have saw the same article you did, because that's what I saw was we could get as high as I think a third rounder. I did see some talk about the possibility of a second, but I really don't believe that to be true. Personally, he would have to sign probably one of the most lucrative extensions in NFL history, and unfortunately, he's not getting the targets. He has yet to work up a rapport with Justin Fields, and Neil Stopchinski here from our Draft on Tap show. Lori Lightfoot sabotaging the Bears. I fully believe that's a possibility. I think. I mean, I don't live in Chicago. I live in New York, which if any of you live in New York, you know how bad it is here. But the one thing they do is take care of their sports teams. The mayor, I mean, you saw the comment she made when they first came out that they had put in like a purchase offer.
Right.
I just don't see this team this staying in the city of Chicago. Have you been to Soldier Field, AC?
No, I haven't, and it's on the bucket list. I definitely like to get there before they move. But
sure, I've been. I'm sure there's everybody in the chat that's been. It's a fun atmosphere, but the stadium itself, even after the renovations, is old as shit.
And the renovations were 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So, and now you've got the opportunity to not just be a football stadium. You've got the opportunity, as you said, AC, to do a whole lot more. Oh, Jesus Christ. I got to address. I'm sorry. I got to address this. Shut the fuck up. Are you shitting me, dude? I don't know who you are. I don't know if you come in the show or not. Shut the fuck up. You're going to say that after 6 games with a shitty coaching staff?
Yeah.
I should just block the guy from the chat room for crying out loud.
Well, I don't ever see Don Burr's comments because I blocked him forever ago. I tried to go on there and unblock him, but I can't figure out how to do it.
God.
So, Don Burr, if you're in there, I don't see your stuff.
I just get tired of idiocracy.
Yeah.
From if you don't know the game, just stick to yourself. I mean, the guy's played, 6 games, 5 games, a starter, and you're already saying he's not the answer? Look at the shit that's around him, dude. Come on, man. Be better. Be better. You're not. You sound like a dipshit.
Yeah. And I don't know where he thinks what does he think the answer is? Is it someone in college?
Yeah, what do you want to see? Nick Foles, Andy Dalton? Because those are your other options. Or we could re-sign Tyler Bray. Or here, give me a quarterback coming out in this class. Come on.
Kenny Pickett's about the only one coming out in this class. I mean, Matt Corral gets all the love, which I was going to mention this earlier when you were talking about. I'm assuming it's a running back up there at Syracuse that's doing all the records and stuff.
Or Sean Tucker, excuse me.
Right. So when I'm on Twitter, it shows polls of people, who do you think is going to win the Heisman? And every time I see it, it's always quarterback. And I think they've got Walker on there from Michigan State, the running back. Speaking of Michigan State, they went down yesterday, so that was pretty cool. We probably got some Purdue fans in the chat. Shout out to the Boilermakers. And it drives me crazy. Like, it doesn't have to be a quarterback trophy. I mean, I think the last time a quarterback didn't win it was like Charles Woodson, and even then they were like, why didn't Peyton Manning win it? Like, It was like I don't know. It's just crazy. But Matt Corral gets all the love. I watched him play against Alabama and struggle really bad. He does have a lot of attributes. He plays well, but I think it may be an issue trying to jump to the next level because of what I saw him play against the tougher teams. He struggled against them, but I know that has nothing to do with Bears, but I thought that was.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make that point.
But it was the conversation that we were getting into. Guys, we're going to talk about the Steelers game coming up here. We're going to take a little commercial break. We'll be back right after this.
Look, I don't mean any disrespect. He just didn't play that well, not for a guy of his caliber.
If they don't run the ball here, I'm going to vomit. I swear to God.
I don't really have any recollection of that at all, but I guess perhaps I blacked it all out.
You know, they won, but I'm going to be miserable all week because they stunk.
The Barroom Network presents two fired-up Bears fans. They are ready to rumble on the Bear Debate.
Welcome back, folks. Man, how about those commercials, Badge? I was going to touch on a little bit of that last week. I felt like it was Aldo and AC bare their souls on our show. It was just we barely even talked about the game. It was just me and him chilling, talking about college ball, talking about life, and that was a pretty fun show. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fun to sit back and not worry about the Bears for a week. I mean, honestly, I thought we were going to win last week, so that was probably part of it. But, yeah, that was fun. And then after that commercial, they had the Goon fantasy show on there, which this is – I know you don't really care about your fantasy team. I think I played you last week. I think your quarterback was on bye or something. You had him starting, but
I had Herbert. I had Justin Herbert. It just was it was like he was on a bye.
So I mean, the big news in fantasy, Derrick Henry went down probably for the rest of the season, and you got bye weeks, and so definitely tune in to the Goon show, and I'm sure they'll have a big week this week to tell you how to replace those guys if you haven't already. And they'll be on right after us.
Yeah. So, dude, my lineup this week compared to playing you last week, if you looked at my lineup, you'd be like, oh, shit, man. Like, now, I say that with – so A.J. Brown will not play for the Titans, I don't believe. So – I was like, oh, but I have Julio Jones. Well, they're playing the Rams. So that means Julio Jones is going to be freaking covered by Jalen Ramsey. So he's not starting. So I have Van Jefferson, Deebo Samuel, and I hate to say this, but I took Darnell Mooney out of my lineup in for Hunter Henry.
Wow.
I don't know. It's just a gut feeling that I have. And whatnot. But anyway, speaking of life, I figured this would be a good time to address this as we welcome our brother Ryan KB in the house. What up?
Driving to the store, apparently.
going to eat breakfast, man. What's going on with you?
What's up, KB?
Yeah, so guys, I know everybody noticed that I was a little missing over the last few weeks, and so I've kind of wanted to make everybody aware of my situation and what had transpired and whatnot. So I have dealt with anxiety for a number of years, but for a number of years it had been not bothersome in any way, shape, or form. And a few weeks ago, out of nowhere, I struggled. And I couldn't go back to where I was the last time. And I needed to step away from some things and focus on myself. And was able to do that. So I'm definitely happy that I did that, and I'm happy to be back. I just wish in the time I was gone, the team had, become something of themselves. And unfortunately, they did not help over the course of the few weeks that I was not present. I was still on Twitter a little bit. I'm sure you saw my tweets the tweet a few weeks ago. I ended up stopping watching a Bears game when they played the Bucks, and I have never really ever done that. And I actually enjoyed my time away. My wife and I had a nice dinner. We watched a movie. And I hate to say it, but I think there may be some times where I'm just going to have to step away from the Bears. I won't step away from the show because I love doing this. As AC says week over week, it is a therapy session, and it's something I needed. And to be honest with you, I think the negativity and what transpired for me was the fact that I was so negative on Matt Nagy. I think it really affected my mental state, and I think it was good that I stepped away for a few minutes to focus on myself and my family. And I'm feeling a lot better, and I appreciate all you guys asking about me, making sure I'm okay. KBAC, Bobby Bombs, Eldo, Joe Mandel, Gaines, all you guys from the network as well, showed me nothing but love. And I can't appreciate that enough from you guys, because, I needed that. And it was, I can't thank you guys enough. I'm happy to be back. And please, if you're struggling, I'm telling you, I know it's hard for a guy because, I'm a guy. I know it's hard for men to address their mental health. And Trey Busy, who was a part of our network and then went and started his own with Let's Talk It Out. I implore you, if you're struggling with your mental health, there are ways that you can get help if you need it. Luckily for me, I wasn't to the point where, mentally I was suicidal or anything along those lines. But I just, it's hard for me when my anxiety kicks in for me to focus and function and things along those lines. So please, I implore you, if you ever, please reach out to me. I will help you in any way, shape, or form that I can. There's resources that, yes, they are a little bit hard to find. I wish I had, pulled some up for this, but I kind of came off the cuff with this. I just, wanted to address it with everyone. It's not something I would wish on my worst enemy. And I don't really have enemies because I don't really believe in that. I think sometimes you need to do what's best for you. And it was best for me, best for my family, and best for me. And I'm happy to be back. And with that, guys, let's talk about this Monday night game. I mean, normally, guys, we're excited. We're on Monday Night Football. Bears, Steelers. I mean, you remember some of the games, the Cutler laying out one of their corners, blocking, for one of his players. The Julius Peppers fumble return for a touchdown in 2013. I saw that circulating. And, it's Monday Night
Jordan
Football.
Howard owning them.
Jordan Howard, yeah. But, I mean, we don't know what to expect week over week. KB, while we got you here, man, what are you thinking about this Monday night game, bro? Like, how do you feel about this, man?
I would have been feeling a lot better if Matt Nagy wasn't coaching. Uh, I think it was pretty evident when you seen that the man wasn't on the sideline. He wasn't a part of the game plan, or he had little input on it. Who knows? But as soon as he was away, this offense kind of came to life. It kind of took form to what it should be. You seen more play actions. You seen design quarterback runs, stuff that everybody else has been doing and been calling for. Uh, we moved the ball. I mean, it sucked. The defense imploded on this goddamn self. But when you got a dam and you got a leak in the dam, man,
Yeah.
and it starts to break, it goes. So I mean, it's one of those things where you just had to know it was going to happen eventually, and the offense couldn't make up for that mistake, those issues. So,
Yeah.
how I feel about this game? Oh man, I it's hard to say that I don't feel we have a chance. I always feel that we have a chance in the game. I felt we had a chance in the game against the 49ers, and for the most part, we led in that game. Uh, but it's on the backs of what they want to do, man. Who's going to come out and play? We didn't trade anybody. We didn't make any moves.
Yeah.
It's going to be incumbent on the team to see what kind of who they're going to be for the rest of the season. Trade deadlines passed, so you know who's here is here. No bullshit. No. Hey, this person might not be it. No, man. You worry about all that at the end of the year. You need to find out whether or not you're going to try to make a playoff push or not. So I feel like we could win this game Monday. It's a very winnable game. Ben Roethlisberger was hurt and was pretty much a no go all the way up until yesterday, where they kind of said, okay, yeah, he can get the heads up to go.
Yeah.
That should be easy pickings. Yeah, we don't have Khalil Mack in this game. We don't have one of the safeties. I think Gibson or somebody got hurt.
Eddie Jackson's out. Or
Eddie Jackson.
Yeah.
So you got two of the main pieces on defense that might be gone. So we'll see what we saw last week, man. But people have to step up.
Yeah.
It's time to put up or shut up, man. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Go ahead, AC.
Well, I want to say first of all, shout out to you, Badge, man. It's difficult to come on here and
Hell yeah, bro.
we talked about last week. I mean, I got on here and broke down crying about a Kentucky coach. So we all deal with our issues. It takes a big man to come on here and talk about your issues. And it's not only to us common people. I mean, we see Calvin Ridley stepped away for the foreseeable future to focus on himself. NFL guys, Brandon Marshall's been a big advocate for mental health. Definitely, if you guys are dealing with something, don't be scared to reach out. And if you're a veteran, that holds a special place in my heart. I think 22 veterans a day take their own lives because they feel like there's no one to talk to. I'm going to try my best not to cry again, but it definitely there's always somebody, man. In the military, we call them battle buddies. You've always got somebody, even if you haven't spoke to them in over a decade, just shoot them a Facebook message. Be like, hey, man, I'm not feeling well. And I guarantee you, if you're a veteran, one of those guys will be there for you. But to go into this game and not to jump back on fantasy, but I have Najee Harris on my fantasy team, and he's kind of been pulling my entire team this year. That is the entire team of the Pittsburgh Steelers, it seems, because Ben Roethlisberger, it seems, can't throw the ball more than 3 yards anymore, which is crazy to think this multi-Super Bowl winning quarterback that's built like a linebacker all of a sudden can't throw the ball. But Father Time is undefeated, and he's catching up with Big Ben out there in Pittsburgh. So if we have a shot, I think that's what it is trying to shut down Najee Harris, which is easier said than done. And then offensively, Justin Fields been able to do what he was able to do last week will be a little bit tougher with TJ Watt coming at him. So they did a pretty decent job.
Cam Hayward is another one. I mean, the interior of the offensive line, I know we talk about the tackles a lot, but two plays stuck out in my mind from last week's game, guys, and those were the two ineligible penalties, one called on James Daniels and one called on Cody Whitehair.
Yeah.
Guys, you've been in the NFL now, both of you, for an extended period of time. It's 1 yard.
Yeah.
It's 1 yard. You know what I mean? Like, it's 3 in college. The fact that the fact that I mean, that's coaching. That's all
Yeah.
coaching, and that just goes to show you how inept this organization is. It's the organization, it's the coaching staff, it's all right down through. But as you guys each said, Big Ben, somehow we've got to get pressure on him and hit him, because that's what he does. He starts to get hit, he will fumble the football, he will throw interceptions. If we can stop stop Najee Harris in the run game and really pressure Ben Roethlisberger. Robert Quinn's really going to have to turn it up. Trevis Gibson, these guys on the inside, Eddie Goldman, Bilal Nichols, Akeem Hicks. These guys are really going to have to pick up their game and get after Big Ben. I hate to say this because, yes, I've lost some weight, but I'm still, pretty much a 300-pound man. I'm faster than Big Ben, and I'm old. That's terrible, and I don't even run, and I feel like I can outrun him. He is just so immobile. We should dominate, getting to him this week. But I just don't have that feeling. I would love to see the defense. I think some confidence from them is to get a takeaway. Give the offense a short field unless they can score themselves. I really think you would see that boost the defense up and really maybe give them a little bit of swagger to really come out and make an impact right away. Offensively, guys, build off of the game Justin Fields had last week.
We're supposed to get money back, aren't we?
I was going to say, they said it's a possibility he might play.
So we got Monty and Herbert, man. That's a 1-2 punch that is going to be something to deal with, as long as they stick with the run.
And I have Monty. I'm starting him in fantasy this week because otherwise I don't have another running back. So, I have to take my chances and hope to God that he plays, or I'm going to be scrambling to pick up, I don't even know who, Ryan Nall or
yeah, and it'll be Monday night, so you'll have to find
you
have to find somebody in that group.
Yeah, so I just at this point, guys, I know we're not totally out of it, record-wise, but come on, I'm going to be a realist here. We're out of it. We need a fucking miracle if we're going to amount to anything this season. And to be honest with you, I kind of don't want to. I hate to say that.
You don't want to give management
to go.
Right. You don't want to give management a reason to hang on to this group. They did it last year because they backed into the playoffs and came back from a 6-game losing streak. They decided to keep everybody and run it back. And I think Hogan Johns plays the quote that drives me crazy more than anything. I think it was Ted Phillips that said it. Have we gotten the quarterback right? No. Have we won enough ball games? No. But we've got the culture here or something to that effect. Like, how the fuck does that make any sense? Like, like if I show up to work and then they're like, well, Aaron, have you showed up on time? No. Have you done your job very well? No. But you know what? We'll keep you around because we like you, bud.
He comes to work every once in a while, man. He has a smile on his face. We'll go ahead and keep him, man. We'll go ahead and keep him.
Yeah. That's hilarious, dude. So here, I got a question up here on the screen from King Pookie. That's a phenomenal question that none of us have an answer to, but I'll try to give you my best answer. I don't think we see him this year. I believe there's a cutoff at some point where if you've been on IR past a certain point, you're done for the season. Unless that changed with COVID. I'm not 100% sure, but it sounds like he's only been doing some light jogging. I don't know if he's ready to come back and play. And to be honest, I'm kind of content with Monty and Herbert. Mm-hmm. Let this guy get healthy. And then imagine next year now. You've got this 3-horse monster out of the backfield that you've got these 2 power guys and the speedster and Cohen that you could have next year that Cohen can also put him in the slot. He's faster than a linebacker, can catch a slant, take it to the house, screen pass. We've seen him do it. And hopefully with a good offensive mind in the building, maybe that'll change.
Well, I think if we see Cohen this season, it won't be until after the bye week at least. We've seen him on the sideline and stuff.
Clovers, that's good, man.
Yeah,
That's good. Sorry.
But yeah, if we do see him this season, it'll be after the bye week. And the way Herbert's playing, man, it'd be tough for me to pull him out to put Cohen in there as a change of pace. I love Cohen, the way he drives me crazy sometimes. We all know the big punt return that he had where he ran all the way this way, that ran all the way that way, and took it to the house. I remember going, no. Yes.
That was a fun day. It's a real fun day.
Yeah. But yeah, if we see him, I think they'll give him time after the bye week to get healthy. And they say Tevin Jenkins is out there running sprints at this point, so he may be coming back soon. But speaking of IR, like now in today's NFL, if you put someone on IR, it only guarantees that they're out 3 games.
Yep.
Mac missed last week, and he's already been counted out for this week. Why didn't they just go ahead and stick him on IR? I mean,
I think they didn't because they had the bye. So I think they figured, all right, well, let's give him this week. If he feels better next week, he can still play. But if not, we've got the bye. So that gives him 3 straight weeks. But to your point, if they had IR'd him, they could have made a roster move and put somebody, brought somebody else up or in. I mean, not that they would have
Charles Snowden, see what you got to see what you got, man. You can't just sit there and tread water, especially at the point that we're at now. I love Jason Peters. I think he's been our best offensive lineman this season. But at some point this season, we're going to have to see what we've got for the future. And Matt Nagy ain't going to look for it.
Comment, though.
Jason
Peters, 40 years old, is our best offensive lineman. And at times, he's a fucking turnstile.
Yeah.
If it's a guy much younger, I mean, that's sad.
Anybody
I
with
hate
any
to say it, but
speed.
that's sad.
He fucking killed Warner on that run last week, though. He killed that, man. I thought he was going to get a penalty, honestly, when I first saw it.
I did, too. I thought they were going to call him coming back. I did, too, AC.
Which is scary. Yeah, it's scary in today's NFL. Anytime you see a big hit or someone actually get physical, you're like, where's the flag? Let's wait and see. But,
so what do you guys think here, what Clovers just popped in the chat here? I think it's rebuild. Offload everybody, get picks. Jackson, Mack. I mean, I said it a little bit ago. I'm all for it. Quinn, Cohen, Williams, Graham, Komet. Komet, I think I would just hang on to because he's on his rookie contract. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think you would get the value back in him. I don't think you would get that second-round draft pick back. And maybe with a different coaching staff, he'll be a difference. Akeem Hicks, I love Akeem Hicks. I have always said that. I think he is the spiritual leader of this team. But I love the fact that he wants to finish his career in Chicago, but I just don't see them giving him another contract, unfortunately.
Right. Some of those guys I'd be good with trading. It depends on if they would take on the contract. I think we need to keep Mac. Honestly, it sucks because he's not out there right now, but we saw what we have if we don't have him out there. Travis Gibson,
clearly the heartbeat of the offense. Like, right. I mean, the defense. Like, it's not even a question anymore. He was not there. The defense fucking floundered.
Yeah,
the man is the heart and soul of the defense. Whether or not we want him to be Roquan or whether or not we want him to be Akeem Hicks, Mac is the best player on the defense. You need Mac out there. And then, like I said, it's going to be hard when you don't have another guy that can be Mac when Mac is not there. Travis Gibson is a good stepping stone to see what you got, but he's not Khalil Mack. So we as fans have to stop acting like Khalil Mack is just some bum player. He's not. He's a transcendent player that clearly was missed against the 49ers. Had he been on the 49ers, I feel comfortable enough to say that it's probably a win.
Well,
I,
I feel like
I
we would
don't
have
feel that
made enough.
offense is anything nearly what they did with Khalil Mack on the field.
Yeah, we may have made enough plays to get the win last week. I mean, Kendall Vildor did get picked on quite a bit, but if you're getting pressure, then do they have time to make those plays? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
Mac, I think we should keep Eddie Jackson. I'm on the fence about. I love Eddie Jackson when he's able to play his free safety role, when he's not forced to make tackles, play up in the box and stuff. I think Eddie Jackson can get back to at least close to what he was. As far as Komet, he hasn't played great. But if you look at, I think someone was breaking it down with the top tight ends in the league. You've got Kelsey, of course, doing his thing. But behind him, as far as I think yards and receptions, it's like Hawkinson and Mike Gesicki. And Hawkinson is in his third year. And Gesicki, I believe, is in his third or fourth year. And even Greg Gabriel, I don't know why I struggle with that name, has said on this network that it takes about 3 years for a tight end to get into his groove, blocking, catching, knowing the routes to run. And I think Komet will get there. He's just not all the way there yet. Graham, I'm cool with getting rid of him. I think he's got one catch for 11 yards, and we paid him $10 million this season. So find somebody to take on that contract.
Clover's here, guys. You can see this statement. The thing is, I love Mac. Same here. I love Khalil Mack. But like he says, we need to entirely revamp the offensive line. Sam Mustipher ain't it. I mean, I know there's other networks saying it too.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Whitehair and James Daniels have not developed. 2 years ago, I thought, man, we've got a really, really good interior offensive line, possibly having them at either guard position. If we can find somebody to play center that can help those two guys, I loved it. But I really believe the only way this team can rebuild quickly, like you see other teams in the NFL do, is get picks back in return, so we're getting top tier talent. And I mean, I don't know if Khalil Mack would bring a first rounder anymore like he did. I think
we just saw Von Miller traded for a second and a third, and with Mack's contract. Yeah, with Mack's contract, it'd be tough to find someone to, first of all, take that money on, and second of all, they're going to trade picks for it. I don't know if it's there, man. And I think Mack is more valuable on this team than he would be than a draft pick would be. And as far as offensive line, we just drafted Borum, we just drafted Tevin Jenkins, who we haven't seen on the field yet. If Jenkins ends up as a guard, James Daniels' contract's up after this season, I do believe. You can find centers 5th, 6th round, and we know I don't know if Pace will be here, but we know Pace has been able to find late round gems. So find us another center. I'm okay with Whitehair at left guard, left tackle. Give me Larry Borum, and then go get my guy Darian Kennard to play right tackle for us, because I'd buy his jersey immediately.
That's funny, because I was actually looking at it in a different light. I would probably move Borum over to left tackle. I would move Jenkins to right tackle. If you decide to keep James Daniels, so be it. I will kick him in the center. Leave Whitehair left guard, and then you looking to draft somebody. If you decide to keep Daniels at right guard, the kid out of Notre Dame seems to be a very hot topic. I don't feel that we have the pick position to get the kid from Iowa. Because I really like the kid from Iowa. I watched a couple of their games. They kind of just fell off the map after that loss they took. So, but that kid from Iowa center is the real deal. If you can tell me we can get either one of him or the kid from Notre Dame, I feel like we would have the makings of a solid O-line. Yeah, you would probably have to look to replace Cody Whitehair in a couple of years, but I mean, it is what it is. You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Check out this question from Beth here in the chat, guys. Would these guys develop under better coaches? We've proven that our coaches did not develop players. Beth, 100%.
I didn't even have to read the whole question. Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
But
clearly,
then you run
look at,
into
yep.
then you
Go
run
ahead,
into
AC.
this same front office as the guys who hired Pace, Nagy, and so on and so forth. These are the same guys that'll be making the next decision, which is also an issue. I heard somewhere, I think Cap had mentioned it, moving Ryan Pace up into the front office somewhere, some position up there, and then him and them collaborate, maybe kick Ted Phillips out, bring in a football guy,
Yeah.
or let Ted Phillips handle you just handle the Arlington Heights deal. You're going to deal with that. That's all you got to worry about. Make us some money and get us to move. So you bring in a guy who knows anything about football. Anything. Call me, bro. I'll do it for a tenth of the
Right.
price.
Shit, yeah.
Just throw me $1 million, baby. We good. You ain't got to talk for the rest of the year.
Right.
Just know shit to get done.
So then you'll have those guys collaborating. I know we hate that word, but collaborating, find a good GM. I love Louis Riddick. I think he'd be a great candidate for that position, and then allow them to bring in a head coach.
I'm sorry. I cannot take Louis Riddick at this point anymore. Louis Riddick is loyal to a fault. He will back Matt Nagy no matter what. This past week, pointing blame at a rookie quarterback instead of holding the coaching staff accountable to develop this young man, this fucking guy points a finger at a rookie quarterback trying to learn this game from a bunch of fucking stooges. I do not want Louis Riddick anywhere near my football team. Nowhere near it. I don't want it.
I saw that
I am
comment.
off of Louis
And
Riddick.
I was in disbelief because you had to look at it. You're a smart guy, dude. You know for damn sure you don't go through 4 quarterbacks and have the same fucking problems. It's because you're not developing
bros
anybody.
before hose. Louis Riddick went bros before hose last
Yeah, he
week.
did.
I can't. I saw that tweet, and I saw somebody else went after him. I didn't go. I tweeted it. Maybe I shouldn't take. I don't give a fuck. Block me, Louis. I don't care. I'm whatever. It is what it is. Do I think that he could go to another organization and probably be successful? Yeah, he probably could be. He's got experience. But at this point now, he's in year 2 of being an analyst. He's probably got some connections and contacts and whatever. I'm sure he could probably land a front office job somewhere. I'm sorry. I don't want him anywhere near the Chicago Bears organization. But as it always happens, everything I don't want, the Chicago Bears seem to do.
They do.
So I guess I probably should prepare myself for Louis Riddick being the new general manager or something.
I mean, bad. It's worse. It's worse people that can be general managers than Louis Riddick. I mean, if we did go after Louis Riddick, would I feel some type of way because of the comment, of course? Do I trust that he would actually make better player personnel? Yeah. Decisions? Yes, I would.
Yeah.
I'm
on the Peyton Manning train.
Peyton Manning. I mean, I feel like he's making a lot of money to do a lot less work.
Good point.
And just because they're a great player does not mean that they would be a great coach. I mean, Mike Singletary, one of the best linebackers in Bears history, has not been a great head coach. And I know Manning has a lot of connections around the league. Maybe that helps as far as the GM goes, but we don't know. Hey, that Stopchinski guy, he's pretty good, man. I'd take him.
For Stop. I'm down.
Yeah, man, I'll definitely take that guy.
Yeah.
If you need an SEC scout, man, I got you, bro.
So let me ask you guys this question, right? So we brought up Louis Riddick. Do you actually think that Ryan Pace won't be here next year? Because as AC said, I think they could see him move him to a higher level position and bring somebody else in.
And you know what? To be honest, if that was the route they would have gone. Would I really be upset? No, probably not. If you were to tell me that you can get, a Ted Phillips or somebody out the door, and you felt that Ryan Pace made good financial decisions and that he was enough of a football guy to move into the front office, I'm 100% okay with the man finds gyms in the later round. I feel like he'd be a good sounding board for whoever the hell you brought in to be your GM. That said, I think that once Matt Nagy's fired, he's gone. That's just me. I
I
don't
don't
see
think
you
that
don't go to another coach. You
I
don't
don't
get that chance
I don't think David Kaplan would just put that out there
unless
if
he
he
knew something.
hadn't, unless he knew something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the people that he worked with are in with the organization. So I feel like he may have heard, a rumor or something. And it could have just been a rumor. It could have just been people brainstorming, and then
Right.
and it snuck out that way. But I don't feel like he would put his name to that rumor without it coming from somewhere. I don't think he would just be like, "This is my idea," like we do as fanalists.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, totally. Yeah. There's things that Pace has done that I'm just like, what the,
Right.
obviously the big thing
Yeah.
was the Mitch pick and the Nagy hire and so on and so forth and whatever.
Foles,
And
Dalton.
yeah, but I would definitely 150% be okay seeing Pace moved up. And to be honest, I would hope it's to replace Ted Phillips. You've seen the things
That
that,
would be
I'm not even
the
talking
move.
about on the field. You've seen Ryan Pace do things financially for the team. Look at Hallis Hall now. He got the McCaskies to fork over some dough and
Hmm.
put state of the art equipment in there and really update everything that facility needed.
Yep.
It sucks now that they don't move training camp, but AC, you touched on teams not playing in their cities. Most teams don't even have training camp in their own hometown. So that's an anomaly kind of for the Bears that they're holding it out and holding it at Hallis Hall, where a lot of other teams they go elsewhere. You're seeing that start to shift. So
Hmm.
things like that he's done. I think he has a good money guy there, and I think his name is Joey Lane.
Yeah.
Right? I think is Joey Lane. He's the contract guy. I really he's done things to be able to move money and get us under the cap, but
Hmm.
some of the contracts, that we've given are going to come back and bite us in the ass, unfortunately. And that's the thing that I don't want to see.
Yeah.
Um, you
And we
know,
saw it in New Orleans as well. New Orleans was in salary cap hell. That's why they had to trade away Jimmy Graham, and that's why they had to make a bunch of moves to get up under the cap. And I don't know, man. I like Pace for some of the moves that he's made, but it's a love-hate thing. And I think Aldo had brought it up. What's his name? Light down there in Tampa Bay. He survived 3 coaching changes. And the guy in Arizona survived 3 coaching changes, and there was another one, the Chargers, survived 3 coaching changes. And I mean, I don't know what their idea is. I feel like with Light, at least with the Buccaneers. Now, granted, he was saved by the GOAT. I mean, you got the best quarterback in the league. It's difficult to lose. But before that, he was making good draft picks on the offensive line. He made some good draft picks on defense. I mean, they got the great middle linebacker. They got some good D-line guys, signing veterans even like Ndamukong Suh and JPP's out there. He made some smart moves, and I don't feel like he overpaid. Whereas we see with Pace, he overpays, and a lot of the people that he's paying for is to make up for his draft mistakes. So, like I said, it's a love-hate. I love that he's able to find late-round gems, but a lot of the free agents that he brings in is to make up for his misses in the draft. And as Neil Stopchinski will tell you, you build a team through the draft overall. So if you're trading away draft picks, you're hurting yourself. Eventually, it's going to catch
get
up.
it to a degree because to move up to get a Justin Fields,
Mm-hmm.
this guy is the potential to be the best best Bears quarterback in history.
Yeah.
I mean, not that's that hard to do. I mean, I say that like I'm somebody who could go out and throw for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns in a season. Probably
Yeah.
highly unlikely unless I'm doing shovel passes to the tight end coming across that, the play Matt Nagy loves to
Well,
run
we
so
love that
much.
play.
Yeah.
Everybody else runs it better than us, but we love that
Everybody
play.
else
We love
runs
that
it
play.
successfully.
I think I saw the Colts running on Thursday night, and I was like,
Yeah.
we can't never do that. Not once.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. Things need to change. I'm not sure how much more. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse every time I talk Nagy's name. So
Yeah.
why don't we get into like some score predictions, bold predictions, some shout outs, if you have anything like that. We'll start with KB first because I know he's ready to get his eat on, man. So
Definitely.
why don't you go ahead, brother?
All right. Say we'll start off with bold predictions. Bold predictions. We see a complete game. It's sad that comes down as a bold prediction, but that's what it's going to be. Uh, the very, very bold prediction. I feel Justin Fields has his first 300 passing yard game. I feel that this will be the game that we also see multiple passing touchdowns from Justin Fields. So I'll say he throws for about 300 and probably rushes for like 60 on the ground with 3 total touchdowns. Uh, my scoring prediction. This will go in wrapping with my bold prediction saying that we'll actually see a full game. I say the Bears score upwards to about 32 points in this game. The Pittsburgh defense is good, but their secondary outside of Minka Fitzpatrick really ain't all that. Devin Bush is it Devin Bush? No, Devin. Yeah, it is Devin Bush. It is Devin Bush. I think he's hurt, honestly. But TJ Watt is their biggest guy, and so is in Casey Hayward. So you got 2 guys on the defense that you have to
You got
really worry about.
Fitzpatrick. You got
And
Fitzpatrick at safety, man. He'll
That,
jump in there and
that's
grab it.
that's the one person that I was saying in the secondary. Minka Fitzpatrick in the secondary is going to be a problem, but I feel that we'll have enough speed to take advantage of the secondary today. I know I've been saying that for weeks, but I feel that today would be the day that we actually see it. So I'll go with 32. I I want to say a complete game, man. I score 32-19. Uh, Very odd score. I feel defense keeps them from scoring 20 points. Uh, I'm gonna go with Travis Gibson actually having a breakout game because I don't really like the Steelers' offensive line any better than ours.
Right.
So yeah, I go with 32-19 Bears. This will be the breakout game for Justin Fields that we've really been wanting to see, and not the one that was last week. A passing breakout game. Uh, Shout outs, man. Shout out to everybody, fans, my boys on here, man. Shout out. The biggest one right now to me is shout out to you, Bash. You've been through some shit, man, and
Appreciate you, man.
we had your back 100% on it, man. You had to step away. You had to step away. We get it. Because I already know it'll be probably times in the future that I'm gonna be dealing with shit. So shout out to you for doing what you had to do, man, and being able to come back. We love you here, man, and we missing you. Glad to see you back on here.
Appreciate you.
Uh, Shout out to everybody in the ballroom. Shout out to my fans. But your boys hungry. Love you boys. Oh, how, man?
Go eat something, KB.
Bear
Go
down,
get some
baby.
grub, brother.
Bear down.
Later. All right, AC.
Man, I got to follow that up. All right. Bold prediction is if there's a place to take advantage of this Pittsburgh Steelers team, I believe it's in the linebackers. So I think it could be a tight end game. And
shit.
we've already seen finally. Well, it should be. I mean, we'll see what Nagy does, but should be. And we've already seen the connection with Jesse James, and I think we have 2 touchdowns to the tight ends. Jesse gets one, and Cole Kmet actually gets one. So that'll be, I guess that's a bold prediction. I mean, we've seen Kmet not be able to do it, so that's what makes it a bold prediction for me. Score prediction, unfortunately, I just don't think we have enough to defeat the Steelers. I think that their defense is really good. Everyone in the chat's been talking about Hayward, and he plays against the worst part of our line. So we already saw Vita Vea and that defensive line, rip through us, and I don't think it'll be as bad as that game was, but I do think we will struggle with this defense some, and I think it's going to come down to my score prediction. I guess I'll say Steelers 27, Bears 24. So it'll still kind of be a close game. Cairo Santos gets back on pace, and a couple touchdowns from Justin. As I said, to the tight ends. Defense plays better than they did last week, but not good enough to get the win, and it's hurtful. But we get beat on national television again, which that sucks. But I'll go into shout outs now. First and foremost, shout out to my wife. She's actually working today. She picked up a day because they were giving a ton of incentives to nurses to come in on their days off, which I couldn't argue with her when she told me what she was going to make. but shout out to my wife. Shout out to my son. It's he just started archery in school. We just bought him a bow, so he's
Nice.
learning how to shoot that thing, and he's having fun with it, that's cool with me, man. If you find something that makes you happy, you know what I'm saying, go out there and do it, even if it ain't something that I did.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see Mule Skinner and 4,000 Clovers in here every week. Shout out to Neil. Neil, I'll be looking for that draft on tap coming soon, because we got to start talking about these prospects coming out. And I really want to hear your thoughts on my guy, Darian Kennard, down here at Kentucky. I always look for the Kentucky guys. And shout out to, I think her name's Beth Bullard. I've been seeing her quite a bit here lately. She's coming in here week after week. So the regulars, shout out to the regulars. Shout out to anybody who's new. Welcome to the ballroom. We've got you covered from all Chicago sports. I don't want to take your job here, Badge, but I'm going to start running through some of these shows. We got Bulls Gold and Bulls 101 covering the Chicago Bulls, who once again are fun to watch. I think I might get me a DeRozan jersey because I've always liked him. I liked him.
He's a baller.
I liked him in Portland, so
yeah.
And I love the city jerseys where they got the Chicago in cursive. I love those jerseys, so I might be getting me a Bulls jersey for the first time since D Rose. But
nice.
Yeah, and then draft on tap will be coming soon. I'm sure Neil can fill you in on that. Him and Danny. Danny does a hires this cat as long as every Kentucky guy doesn't come back. Hey, man, I like who I like.
That's funny.
Neil and Danny will be handling the draft on tap. We don't have a first-round pick, so it'll be an even tougher job for them this year, because they'll have to kind of try to figure out who's going to fall to us and who's worth that pick. But I always defer to those guys as far as looking at prospects, even though I love my Kentucky guys. I love to hear their input on them. And speaking of Danny, he does a show every week, going over the tape, talking about what went good, what went bad. He does that with Aldo. And, Bare Truth. That's what it's called. Yep. I couldn't think of it for a second there. As we mentioned earlier, right after this show, you're going to have the Fantasy Goon come on, and they'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and get you ready for the games. Then at halftime, you'll have Aldo with, I don't know if Buffon's going to be on today because he's at the game. So if any of you guys are at the game, look for Buffon. I'm not sure what section he's in or anything like that. I mean, he's kind of a big shot. He might be up in the press box, but so look for Buffon out there in Pittsburgh tomorrow. I keep saying today. I feel like I'm used to us playing on Sundays, so he'll be out there tomorrow, and we'll have the Bear football at halftime and the post game, which will be a late show for you, Aldo. I apologize. You're gonna be up late there.
Man, you covered it all, AC. So I'm going to give you my bold prediction here, and it's actually not so bold. I want to thank Trent Earl, actually, for kind of stealing my not so bold prediction. I actually had thought about it prior to the show, and I was going to say that not so boldly, you could guarantee Ben Roethlisberger was going to throw 2 picks. And I saw him posted in the comment thread that I just decided to stick with it. I definitely think you will see Ben Roethlisberger throw at least 2 interceptions. One of those will give the Bears a short field. Justin Fields will be responsible for all 3 Bears touchdowns that they score, as well as the final 2-point conversion that they score with under 30 seconds left to pull out a 22-21 victory on Monday Night Football over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Nice.
I'm on a wing and a prayer. Tonight, before I go to bed, I will hit my knees and pray to a holy thing and everything above that it does come true. Shout outs, guys. I can't thank AC, KB, Bobby Bombs, Eldo Gandia, Joe Mandel, Tyler Ellis, John Buffone, Neil Stopchinski, Danny Shimon. I got Mikey Betts, Mike North. I know I'm forgetting other guys, and I apologize. I'm trying to remember everybody, off the top of my head. Stephen Ageshi was in here earlier as well. As AC said, guys, this network has so many shows that can cater to whatever you're looking for, whether it's TV, movies, science fiction, sports, sex, whatever. It's here for you. You just find on whatever phone you have, Apple, Google, LG, find your podcast app, click subscribe and follow the Barroom Network. We're all available on any form of social media. If you want to reach out, and tell us great show, or you want to, privately give your opinion instead of a chat, hit us up. We're very available. We may not get right back to you, right away, but we'll definitely get back to you. As I said earlier, man, I love doing this. As AC says, it's like a therapy session for us. And, we have a great time doing it. As always, I want to thank my wife, my daughter, my parents, my sister and her husband, my mother-in-law for always, having my back, supporting me, and being there for me. And don't forget, if you want to help us out, don't forget, we've got a swag shop too. The swag shop is back up and running. I got my Barfly Tailgate show on. I got my Barroom Network hat on. Deep Dish Tees, our man. Oh my God, I just freaking blanked. Mike Schaefer, running the Deep Dish Tees site, has created a beautiful site for you to go on and find all of your favorite Barroom Network gear, with plenty more coming. You heard some of the newer shows, Bulls Gold, the science fiction shows. We've got C Red with with Gaines and his brothers. I can't wait to hop on with those guys and talk, those 90s Bulls teams. One of my favorite times of my life in sports, man, was during that time. And, happy to be back. I'm sure next week we'll have everybody here with us, guys. So the fearsome foursome, as Clover said in the chat a little bit ago, we'll be back and ready to really bring the fire for you guys like we do week over week. So with that, guys, we'll say it. Wish everybody a dub tomorrow and a big bear down.
Bear down.
Thank you.